In this video, we'll outline the board's capabilities, and by the end of the video, you'll be ready to take on the creation of your first boards, with a solid understanding of the functionality available. When you create a new board, you will be presented with the option to select from one of our hundreds of available templates, kickstarting your board. Choose from building blocks, which are blank templates you can expand upon. Brainstorming, education, meetings and coaching, problem solving, research and design, and strategic planning. Here I'll search for a board and select it. Notice that your zoom level will automatically adjust to fit the template. The first area we'll explore is the top bar, which is collapsible, to give you more space to work on the board. On the left, we can click the logo and exit to the dashboard, or edit the board's name if permitted. You'll see profile icons of other members currently on the board on the right side. Hovering over their profile icon displays their name and board role. Clicking them provides numerous functions such as Go To, which will go to their position on the board, Follow, which will follow their movements on the board, and Show on Map, which will show another colored circle in their profile icon, and when the map is opened, you'll be able to see and follow where they are on the board. If permitted, you will see the invite icon where you can manage invitations, followed by the notifications icon, task list icon, help icon, and profile icon, all of which are covered in more detail in the video titled, The Dashboard. The next main area to explore is the left-side toolbar, where you can add objects to the board, set the pan and select mode, and the library. Objects where text may be entered have two distinct modes. The first is selection mode, which occurs when you click the object once, and allows you to perform actions on the whole object, such as moving and resizing. The next is edit mode, which requires a second click, and is the default mode when an object is created that supports text, and allows you to edit and manage the text in the object. Keep a note of these two modes, as we demonstrate the different objects available. First is the title object, which is a quick way to add a title, or text to the board, and by default, it contains no border. Clicking the sticky note icon will show a quick color selector. You can either use the current color, or select a new color from the quick selector, and then click an area on the board to place the sticky note. As you may have noticed, each object has a toolbar to manage it, with much commonality between them. Specific to sticky notes is the size icon, where we can quickly change its size. Next is the background color. If no text is selected, it will change the object's background color. Otherwise, it will change the selected text's background color. For all other text properties, if any text is selected, it will only affect the selected text, else, it will affect all the text in the object. For example, we'll change the color of selected text only. And now with no text selected, it changes the color of all the text in the object. Text properties include font size, bold, italic, underline, superscript, subscript, and font selection. Additionally, we may align the text, apply a hyperlink, or attach an emoji. Other options include changing the shape, Adding mathematical or chemistry equations. Duplication. Deletion. Locking the object from edits, and fit to screen. Now press the shortcut key of 1, which will take us back to 100% zoom. When you click Supported Objects, blue circles will appear outside of the object. Click on the blue circle and drag it to your desired location and drop it, and you will be presented with options to duplicate the existing object. Create a sticky note or a shape. Alternatively, we can connect to an existing object, and move the objects around and maintain the connecting lines. Comments allow users to discuss and provide commentary. Provide a topic, comment, and post. It will then appear as a small icon on the board. If another user adds to it, the number of unread comments will appear, so let's click and open it, and read the latest comments. Cards allow us to organize content for assignments, tasks, or a repository of information. Provide a title. Optionally set who is responsible. The supervisor, or collaborators. Optionally, create a task. Add comments. Attachments. Labels. As we have created a task, you will be suitably notified of task updates and reminders via the notification system. And the task will now appear in the task list, where you can view and go to the task on the board. Objects are a collection of shapes we can add to the board, lines and arrows, and containers. From talk bubbles to arrows with configurable heads, thickness, stroke types, line type, color, and infinite bends. Containers are the backbone of templates, and are highly customizable for organizing content, including customized cell structures and configuring individual cell properties in the container. The Resources section provides an abundance of emojis, icons, images, videos, and templates. Note that there is no limit to the number of templates that can be added to a board. Next we have the library, which allows us to upload images, videos, and over 60 document formats for presentations, and can become a repository of all your information requirements. To demonstrate, I'll add an image from the library to the board. Next, I'll open a document. The pen and highlighter tool allows you to draw over the document. When combined with presentation mode, which we'll discuss later, it provides a powerful method to present documents. As we can scroll, change pages, and what you see is exactly what your attendees will see. If we minimize the document, we can use the pen and highlighter on the board as well, which supports a stylus, pencil, touch, or mouse as in this instance. Now that we have a few objects on the board, let's explore the select and pan modes. The default mode is to pan the board if there is no cursor over an object, otherwise, it will select the object. In this mode, we can multi-select objects by selecting one, and then hovering over another, where we can click the green plus sign, or equally, we can deselect an object by clicking the red minus sign. Another selection method is to press and hold down the Shift or the Control or Command key, which allows us to select or deselect objects by clicking them. The next mode only allows you to pan the board, regardless of where you click on the board. The final mode is area or individual selection. When hovering over an object, click to select. Otherwise, draw crosshairs to select the objects wanted. Here, the toolbar will display options common to all selected objects. Lastly, we have the eraser icon, which has two modes. First is the stroke eraser, which will only delete ink strokes. The second mode is area eraser, which will delete everything in the defined region. The right-side toolbar is for general management. First up is undo and redo of operations taken on the board. The home button will exit you to the dashboard, or end your guest session. Zoom paddles control the zoom level of your board. Import and export includes options to embed iframes on the board. Export the board, to saving the board as a template, which we'll do now. Here, we'll give our template a name, and we can optionally select whom to share the template with, such as selected projects. Click Create, and now in the shared area of the template section, you'll see the template we just created. The Attendees List will give you a clear view of who is on the board. Their status, including track and aid facilities, and management options if you have the required permission level. Lastly, on the right side toolbar, we have settings and integration. Here you'll see numerous settings that are configurable to your liking, such as seeing other users' cursors in real time on your board, mouse scrolling action, and object defaults, allowing you to tailor properties such as font, font size, and font color, amongst others for different object types. Next is the integrations option, which will display a list of integrations available to you. The final area is the bottom right side toolbar, which covers collaboration, presentations, and the board map. Video conferencing allows you to set up and start a conference easily. When started, video feeds are shown on the side, so that you can collaborate on the board simultaneously. Alternatively, you can expand the size of the videos to take up the full board area. Presentation mode allows you to present precisely what you see on your screen directly to other attendees. Fantastic for tutorials, coaching, and distance education. We'll come back to this later. The slides icon allows you to create a slide presentation by simply clicking the plus button and giving it a name. Let's now create some slides. Click the Create Slide button. Enter a name. Select an aspect ratio, and click OK. Here, we will be displayed crosshairs, where we can draw the size of the slide, or simply click to create a slide of default size. Once the slide is created, we can add objects to it. Here I'll add a template called Customer Journey Map, and you'll note that it automatically fits it to the available screen space. We can also create a slide to include existing content on the board, so let's do that. Notice how I can move slides around the board. You can create multiple slide presentations on the same board, and reuse existing slides. This is useful for long-form and short-form presentations. Now let's go back to presentation mode. You can control how users can interact with the presentation. You can optionally select a slide presentation, which will be displayed to all attendees as soon as they join the presentation. I'll toggle on Auto Start Slide Presentation, and select the slide presentation we just created. Once Start Presentation is clicked, we will be displayed a presentation bar where we can navigate our presentation as we like. Next is the comments list, which will show us all the comments made on the board. We can review them and click them, which will take you to the board position of the comment, and open it. Our chat feature allows a free flow of communication for those permitted to chat. The Task Timer feature helps you stay in control by defining time limits on decision-making and tasks. Polls are a fantastic way of obtaining feedback in real time. Let's create a poll. Enter the poll name, the question to ask, the amount of time the poll is open for, and our multiple choice answers. Click Start Poll, and wait for the results to come in. And we reopen polls, you will see a history of previously completed polls. Lastly, there is our board map which we touched on earlier. Quickly and easily navigate to any part of the board, including going to unused spaces of the infinite board, and start creating in new areas. That concludes our overview of the board. We hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you now have a firm understanding of how to use the functionality available on the board.